planet Varelia was a place unlike any other in the galaxy. Its skies were a pale silver, its oceans shimmered in shades of gray, and its forests appeared like layers of charcoal and ash. To most visitors it looked dull, lifeless, even sad. But the Varelians, the native species, saw it differently. They had evolved to perceive the world only in shades of gray. For them this was normal. For Lyra, a young Varelian girl, it was never enough. She had always felt that something was missing, though she could not name it. The forests looked beautiful in their gradients, yet she imagined there might be more. Something that could make the world feel alive, vibrant, and full. Lyra was not like the other children. While most were content studying the shapes of plants or observing the shadows of clouds, she spent her time staring at the horizon, wondering. She wondered what it would be like if the world could change in ways no one had yet experienced. Her parents and elders often scolded her for dreaming too much. The world is as it is, they would say. Gray is all there is, and gray is enough. But Lyra could not help it. She longed for something she could not yet see, something she could only imagine. One day, a ship from another world arrived. Its metal hull gleamed unnaturally in the gray sunlight, and it moved with a grace the Varelians had never seen. The humans inside were even more fascinating. They were small, soft-skinned, and colorful, at least to Lyra's imagination. But what captivated her most was one human, a scientist named Ethan. He had arrived to study Varelia's unique environment and its people. Unlike many humans, he did not treat Varelians as objects of curiosity. He spoke to them with respect, listened to their thoughts, and observed their behavior carefully. Ethan noticed Lyra almost immediately. She was sitting alone by the edge of a silver-gray lake, her long limbs folded neatly, her eyes fixed on the clouds. There was something in the way she observed the world, a curiosity that reminded him of human children back on Earth, the kind who asked too many questions and never stopped exploring. He approached her cautiously. "Hello," he said, his voice soft but clear. "I'm Ethan. I study how eyes work. May I ask you something?" Lyra blinked, a little startled. No human had spoken to her directly before. Most avoided her because she was different, always thinking, always questioning. "Yes," she said slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. "I have been studying your eyes," Ethan said, "and I think they can see something you cannot. Have you ever wondered why you don't see colors?" Lyra's heart skipped. She had wondered every day of her life. I do," she admitted. "I feel like I am missing something, but I don't know what it is." Ethan smiled gently. "I think I can help you see it." The days that followed were filled with wonder and experimentation. Ethan set up small machines that could measure how light passed through Varelian eyes. He showed Lyra tiny pieces of technology from his world, each designed to test her perception. Lyra was fascinated. She asked questions, observed carefully, and even started taking notes herself. No other Varelian had ever been so involved in human science. "You are different," Ethan said one evening as the silver sun dipped low. "Most Varelians accept gray. But you want to see more. That is very human of you." Lyra did not know how to respond. She had never thought of herself as human-like. "Do you really think I could see colors?" she asked cautiously. Ethan nodded. "Yes. I think with the right device, your brain could learn to interpret light in ways it never has before. You could see colors like humans do." Lyra's excitement was almost unbearable. She could hardly sleep that night, imagining a world alive with red flowers, blue skies, green forests, and golden sunsets. Her imagination, once vague and shadowy, now raced ahead, fueled by the promise of discovery. The next weeks were a whirlwind of work. Ethan crafted a pair of special glasses designed to translate the light of Varelia's sun into signals that Lyra's brain could understand. He explained every step, making sure she knew exactly how the device worked. Lyra helped where she could, offering suggestions, testing minor adjustments, and learning with an eagerness that amazed even Ethan. Not everyone approved. Some of the Varelian elders grew suspicious. "Do not tamper with what nature has given," they warned. "You do not know the consequences. This human brings change that could be dangerous." But Lyra did not care. Her desire to see the world in its true form outweighed their warnings. She had waited her entire life for this. She had waited for someone who could help her experience the beauty that had always been beyond her reach. Finally, after countless tests and careful adjustments, Ethan declared the glasses ready. Lyra's hands trembled as he handed them to her. The lenses were smooth and delicate, almost fragile yet filled with promise. "Are you ready?" Ethan asked softly. Lyra nodded, though her heart was pounding. She had never been more nervous in her life. Carefully, she placed the glasses over her eyes. The world changed instantly. At first, everything seemed strange, almost overwhelming. Light flickered and shifted, and patterns she had never seen danced before her eyes. Then the colors began to stabilize. The gray forests of Virelia were transformed. Leaves shimmered in deep greens. Flowers glowed with reds, purples, and yellows, and the silver lake sparkled with blues and golds. Even the sky revealed shades she could never have imagined, a gradient of colors that seemed to sing to her soul. Lyra gasped, unable to speak. Her hands rose to her face as tears blurred her vision. She had never known the world could feel like this. Her heart ached with joy and disbelief. For the first time, she understood what she had been missing all her life. The promise of color, the depth of beauty, and the complexity of light. It was more than she had ever imagined. Ethan watched her quietly, a soft smile on his face. He had expected excitement, but he had not anticipated the intensity of her reaction. Lyra's tears were not sadness, they were a release, a mixture of awe, gratitude, and the overwhelming realization that life had suddenly become richer, fuller, more alive. "It's beautiful," she whispered, her voice trembling. I can see it." "I can really see it," Ethan nodded. "Yes, you can. And this is just the beginning. Imagine what else you could discover with your eyes open to all this beauty." For the rest of the day, Lyra wandered through the forests and fields, taking in every detail, every shade, every subtle change of light. She ran her fingers over leaves, her eyes drinking in the vibrant patterns of petals, the reflections on water, the subtle changes in the sky as clouds moved. Every step was a revelation. As night fell, she returned to Ethan, still overwhelmed. "I can't thank you enough," she said. "No one else has ever shown me this life." "You did all the work," Ethan replied, shaking his head. "I only helped you see what you already wanted to see. That courage, that curiosity, that is human, Lyra. That is what makes humans so special." Lyra smiled, a new understanding forming in her mind. She realized that it was not just the colors that mattered. It was the desire to explore, to question, to push beyond what was accepted. That was what made the world so full of potential, and she had found a kindred spirit in Ethan. As the night deepened, Lyra gazed up at the sky through her glasses. Even in the darkness, she could see faint traces of colors in the stars, subtle variations of light she had never noticed before. She felt a thrill unlike any she had known. Tomorrow she would explore more. She would learn more, and she would share this gift, this new way of seeing, with those who were ready to open their eyes. For the first time in her life, Lyra felt truly alive, and she knew that her journey had only just begun. The next morning, Lyra awoke with a sense of excitement she had never felt before. The world outside her home, once dull and gray, now glimmered with color. Sunlight poured through the windows, casting warm yellows and soft oranges across the walls. Even the walls of her room, plain and gray yesterday, reflected subtle shades of color she had never noticed. She blinked, adjusting her new glasses, and smiled. Everything was alive. Everything mattered. Ethan was already waiting outside as usual. "Good morning," he said with a gentle grin. "Ready for another day of discovery?" Lyra nodded eagerly. "Yes, I want to see more. I want to understand everything." They walked through the city streets together. The Virelians, moving through their usual routines, seemed unaware of the changes Lyra had experienced. To most, the world remained shades of gray. Some children noticed Lyra staring and smiling at things they could not see, and whispers spread quickly. "She is different," they said. "She is strange." Lyra ignored them. She was focused on the details, the bright reds of the flowers in the market square, the soft greens of the moss on the walls, the shimmering blue of the fountains. She could see colors even in movement, in reflections, in shadows. Every step brought new amazement. Ethan watched her closely, pleased but cautious. He knew not everyone would accept these changes easily. "Are you ready for something more?" he asked. Lyra looked at him with wide eyes. "More? What do you mean?" "I mean showing the world what it can look like," Ethan said. "You don't have to keep this to yourself. Others might want to see too." Lyra hesitated. She had always felt separate from the others, different in a way that sometimes brought loneliness. Sharing her glasses with someone else meant opening herself up. risking misunderstanding, perhaps even fear, but she felt a sudden courage, a spark ignited by the beauty she had seen. "Okay," she said. "Let's try." They began with small experiments. Ethan helped Lyra craft a few more glasses, copies of the original but carefully tuned for other Varelians. Their first test subjects were a few children who had shown curiosity about Lyra's excitement. When the glasses were placed on the children, their reactions were mixed. Some laughed with joy, pointing at the vibrant colors that had been hidden their entire lives. Some froze, unsure of what they were seeing, overwhelmed by the sudden richness of the world. Lyra stayed by their side, guiding them patiently. Word spread quickly. Adults began to ask questions. Some were fascinated. They could hardly imagine a world beyond gray. Others were suspicious. The elders, who had always ruled with caution and authority, called for a meeting. "Humans meddle with nature," one elder said sternly. "We do not know the consequences. This change could be dangerous. It could disrupt our society." Lyra listened quietly. Fear tightened her chest, but she refused to be stopped. "I am not afraid," she said calmly. "I have seen the world as it can be. Colors exist. They are not dangerous. They are beautiful. They make life richer. I want to share this with everyone who is willing to see." Some elders shook their heads, muttering about reckless youth and human interference. But others hesitated. They had observed Lyra closely and realized she was wise beyond her years. She was not reckless. She was cautious, thoughtful, and patient. Slowly, the council allowed a public demonstration, under careful supervision. The day of the demonstration arrived. Lyra stood in the main square, glasses in hand, surrounded by hundreds of curious Varelians. Children crowded around first, their faces wide with anticipation. Lyra handed out the glasses one by one, showing them how to adjust the lenses and look at the world. When the first child looked through the glasses, a gasp escaped their lips. It's beautiful," they cried. Colors danced before their eyes. Green leaves, blue skies, golden sunlight, red flowers, and the soft purples and pinks of distant mountains. The crowd erupted in murmurs, excitement spreading like wildfire. The elders watched closely, some with admiration, some with suspicion. But as more Varelians experienced the colors, a subtle shift began. Skepticism faded, replaced by awe and curiosity. Even those who had opposed the glasses could not deny the joy and wonder in the faces of the people around them. Lyra's heart soared. She had dreamed of this moment for years, and now it was real. She walked among the crowd, watching as people pointed out colors to each other, compared shades, and laughed with delight. For the first time, she felt truly connected to her world and her people. Ethan stayed close, observing quietly. He knew this was more than a scientific achievement. It was a cultural revolution. Humanity's ingenuity, coupled with Lyra's courage and desire to explore, had changed the perception of an entire species. But he also knew there would be challenges ahead. Not everyone would embrace change so easily. Over the following weeks, Lyra and Ethan worked tirelessly. They refined the glasses, improving comfort and clarity. They experimented with larger devices that could project colors across walls and landscapes, allowing entire areas to shimmer in vivid hues. Lyra taught other Varelians how to create art using color, something that had never existed before. Paintings, sculptures, and even clothing began to show vibrant shades, and the gray world slowly transformed into a tapestry of life and expression. Some Varelians struggled with the transition. They found it overwhelming at first, unsure of how to respond to the sudden influx of information. Lyra spent hours with them, guiding, encouraging, and explaining. Her patience and empathy helped ease their fears, and gradually, they began to embrace the new perception. As the months passed, the cultural impact became undeniable. Markets, homes, and public spaces flourished with color. Festivals and celebrations incorporated vibrant decorations, and music performances now included visual spectacles that complemented the sound. Even architecture evolved, with buildings painted in colors that enhanced the natural beauty of Varelia's landscapes. Lyra had become a symbol of curiosity, courage, and human ingenuity. Young Varelians admired her, and even the elders who had once opposed her now acknowledged her wisdom. She had bridged the gap between species, showing that humans and Varelians could learn from each other, share knowledge, and improve the world together. One evening, as the twin sons of Varelia sat in a riot of colors, Lyra and Ethan climbed a hill overlooking the city. The sky was ablaze with shades of orange, pink, purple, and blue, reflected in the rivers and lakes below. Lyra's eyes shone behind her glasses and tears of joy filled her cheeks. "Thank you," she whispered, turning to Ethan. "I never thought I would see the world like this. I never imagined it could be so." "Alive," Ethan smiled. "You had the courage to believe it was possible. You opened your mind and your heart. I only helped guide you." Lyra looked at the horizon, feeling a sense of purpose stronger than ever. "I want to do more," she said. "There are still so many things to explore, so much to learn." "Colors are only the beginning," Ethan nodded. "Then we will keep going, together." The bond between them had grown strong, not just as teacher and student or human and Varelian, but as friends and explorers. They shared a vision of a future where curiosity, creativity, and courage could reshape worlds. In the following weeks, Lyra began experimenting with her own inventions. She developed devices that allowed Varelians to combine colors in ways no human had ever imagined, creating patterns and effects that dazzled the eye. She started teaching classes on color theory and artistic expression, blending Varelian intuition with human scientific understanding. As the city transformed, outsiders from nearby planets began to arrive, curious to see this unique display of life and innovation. Varelia, once considered dull and unremarkable, had become a place of wonder and inspiration. Lyra's vision, combined with human ingenuity, had not only changed her world, it had elevated it one day. As she walked through a forest now alive with colorful leaves and flowers, Lyra paused to watch a small group of children painting patterns on rocks. Their laughter filled the air, mixing with the songs of birds whose feathers glimmered with hues previously invisible to the Varelians. Lyra's heart swelled. This was the life she had always imagined, the world she had dreamed of. Ethan approached her quietly. "You've done something extraordinary here," he said. "You've shown your people what it means to see differently. You've shown them the power of curiosity and imagination." Lyra smiled, looking around at the vibrant world. "We've done it together," she said softly. "Humans and Varelians side by side. And this is just the beginning. There is so much more we can discover." As the twin suns set once more, casting brilliant colors across the landscape, Lyra realized that she had finally found her place in the world. Not just as a Varelian, but as a bridge between species, a creator and an explorer. She had opened her eyes to the beauty around her, and in doing so, she had inspired others to see beyond what they had always accepted. And for the first time in her life, Lyra knew that the world was infinite, not gray, and that there were no limits to what a curious mind could achieve. With Ethan by her side, she was ready to explore it all.